Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is video number 2 and we are on this beginner's guide, this let's play adventure of Satisfactory. And if you remember in the last video, we set up our basic systems. We have our iron, we have our copper, and around the back here we have our concrete. So it's a little bit spaghetti at the moment. We tried not to do any clipping as we mentioned, and if you missed that video you can just go and check it out to see how we got to this stage here. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at the different tiers and how we can upgrade. So we currently have tier 1 and tier 2 that are available to us. Now in tier 1 we have base building that would allow us to have foundations, logistics, which would give us the splitter and merger conveyor, as well as the lift and the productivity display, and field research, which would open up the map, the MAM, and a few other items. The beacon will be removed. It is pending removal, so just ignore that. In tier 2, we have the part assembly, which is the assembler, copper, rotor, modular frames, and smart plating, so a bit more upgraded and a few more extra things. Obstacle clearing, which includes solid biofuel. That's going to be important. It's the next stage up from biomass. Jump pads, which aren't really very useful at all. The resource sync program, which we do want to get up and running as soon as possible, because that is going to allow us to get the awesome shop. So we can sync, we can basically recycle anything that we're not using, and we can get coupons, and we can use those coupons in the shop to buy things that are valuable. And then we've got logistics mark 2, which means we can upgrade our conveyor belts from 60 resources a minute up to 120 resources per minute. So there's a few upgrades there. Now we're not going to jump ahead, even though I would say that if you're playing this and starting a new game, you want to get to tier 3 as quickly as you possibly can, and it is possible to do it in about 90 minutes. If you push really hard, you can do it in about 90 minutes, but it is hard. For this, you need to complete the space elevator phase 1. So before we carry on with the tiers, let's just come out and take a quick look at the space elevator. So in order to put this down, and as you can see, this is a huge building. Huge, massive. Compared to everything else we've got, it's phenomenal. We need 1,500 wire. We need 400 rods. We need 250 metal plates, and we need 500 concrete. So we need a lot to be able to place that. Once you've placed it, remember that just placing it isn't enough. We need to also complete phase 1. And phase 1 is going to require smart plating, as well as some other items that we're going to have to create. Now, smart plating is something that you cannot create in the crafting bench. You have to use an assembler. An assembler takes 2 parts and it crafts them into 1. So, for example, you'll be able to take the rotors, and you'll be able to take something like rotors, and you'll be able to take something like reinforced metal plates and create something like smart plating, just to give you an example. So this is where we need to consider, what do we want to focus on first? Do we want to be able to build a foundation? Well, yes, this is nice and it would be good, but we're not ready to do that yet. What I would say is actually most important, and you can do this in any order, but I would say logistics, because we need this splitter and we need this merger. So we're going to start with this milestone, and we've already got the wire to upload, and we've already got the metal plates to upload, meaning the only thing that we're currently missing that we need to grab here are going to be these rods, these iron rods. And we can go ahead and upload these. We're a little bit short at the moment, and that just means that we're going to do the rest of these iron ingots, and we're going to manually make these whilst everything else is working in the background. Now, at the same time, we've left this for a little bit, and so it makes a lot of sense that we go and check on our power, because we do not want this to cut out. So we have to look. We've got 154 biomass here, 121 here. So we're okay for the moment. but we are just going to take a moment to top everything up. So we'll come along to here, top up this one. Oh, we'll come along to here. We'll just top up this one, and we'll just jump down, grab the last one, and we're going to just top up this one as well. So now all of the biomass is topped up. That's all working. We'll put the rest of this away. And then the stuff that we don't need, we're going to just chuck that out as well, so we don't have it. Put this back in our hand. So we've got this. And we're going to go ahead and make the rest of these rods. Okay, let's go and make these iron rods from the iron ingots that we had. Now, this should be enough. It's everything that we need here. So we only actually need 53 of these in total. They take 1 second each, so it's not going to take long for us to be able to do this. There we go. We've got enough now. We'll upload those. And now we can press this button. Once we do this, it's going to take off. We've put the 600 parts that we need in total. We press this button. And if we actually head outside...
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation. The productivity display will help you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings to aid with optimization.
Okay, so it says in the top right that the pod will return in 3.5 minutes. That means we cannot select or do anything else for the next 3.5 minutes. We're going to just have to kind of wait here. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to work towards the obstacle clearing. Now, you might think base building would be better, and technically I would agree it's nice to have that. But tier 2, obstacle clearing, is going to give us solid biofuel. Biofuel is going to be a better process where we're not using so much biomass. So this is where we're going to go next. Again, you need to consider what we have to build for this as a result. It takes quite a lot of material. We're going to need, as you can see, 100 of these. So we're going to have to come down here. We're going to have to grab as many of these as we can and start making these. So we're going to have to make cable. We need 100 cable. They only take a second each. That's only 100 seconds. So if we do this, then by the time this comes back, we should be good to go. Now, we also need these rods, and we need to turn these rods into screws. We don't have a process to be able to automate this just yet. But what we are going to do is, before we get too carried away with following through with these milestones, is we're going to optimize as much of our process as possible. We did manage to unlock the splitters and the mergers, which were two things that we were talking about to be able to create efficiency. So let's go ahead and just finish this. We're going to do some screws now. Now, we haven't actually got enough to finish the screws. We can only do 224 at the moment. If we do some more iron rods, because we've got some of these iron ingots, that should hopefully give us enough to do most of the screws that we need. Now, these take 3 seconds each, but we do get 4 screws when we do it. So we're going to try and get as close as we can to these 500 screws. And then as soon as that pod comes back in about 1.5 minutes time, we'll be able to send it straight back up again. Just a point to note, if you were to complete 2 of the different milestones, you could send them up together. Just a bit more efficient if you were to do that. So we don't want to obviously do screws manually. This is a process that's going to take a long time. It's not ideal. So we want to try and automate this as quickly as we possibly can. And so we want to be able to build a base as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get the biofuel. That's going to give us a little bit more time. And then we're going to go for the foundations. And so what we'll have then is the splitters and the mergers. We'll have the biofuel, and we'll have the base unlocked. And between the 3 of those upgrades that we're going to do today, that is basically going to give us everything we need to get to the next stage. So we've got another 80 screws here. We can hear in the distance, the freight is back. Here it comes. It's landing again. 16 seconds left. And we're almost there. We need 500 screws, so we're not quite there, but we're almost there. We're just going to finish these off. All right, so almost at 400. We'll get as many of these out as we can. And then what we can also do is just jump up to here. And we can, if we don't want to wait, we can just grab these. There we go. So we can grab as many of these and just finish off these screws. Hopefully we've got enough now. 80. We're about 25 short. And by the time we finish these, we'll get the next lot. We'll be done. So about another 30 seconds. And we should be done and ready to send that next lot up. All right, so just 24 left. Perfect, that's more than enough. We've got enough iron rods now because we get 4 screws per iron rod. We only need 24. We've got 28 here, so we're going to have a few spare. Fantastic. All right, there's our 500. So we go back to the hub now. We're going to send up our screws. We're going to send up our wire. And we're going to send up our concrete. And again, we can send this up now for obstacle clearing.
Milestone reached. Biofuel will ensure maximum efficiency of biomass burners. To aid in biofuel production, you are now capable of removing foliage that consists primarily of wood. Additionally, R&D inflated your pocket dimension.
So we've got additional pocket dimension, which is nice, which means we can carry an extra item in our hand. But also, we can now convert this biomass into solid biofuel. Now, this process that we're doing at the moment, it takes a little bit of time and it's a little bit slow. And we don't really want to be doing this. So, let's get 2 reinforced iron plates. The way we're going to do that, we'll grab some iron plates. We'll grab some of these rods that we've got here. And we're going to go ahead and turn these rods into screws and these screws into reinforced iron plates. We need 2 of these. Very easy. There we go. And we're just going to we're going to pick up this equipment workshop now. And we're actually going to place down a constructor instead. And we're going to place this down just in front. And it actually doesn't matter which way we place this, because we're not going to be connecting it to anything. We're going to simply be connecting this to power. So we're looking for some power. We're going to grab that one. A little bit spaghetti, but we're going to grab it. We can see if we look here that we're still within our capacity. 52 maximum out of 70. But now we have this constructor. We can actually say we want to make solid biofuel. And we can put in all of our biomass and it will make our solid biofuel for us. It's going to take a little bit of time to do that. But we can leave that to automate that and we don't have to worry about it anymore. And that now is going to create all of the biomass, the biofuel for us. So if we just take out some biofuel so I can show you, biomass is 10 per minute. Okay, it's burning 10 biomass per minute right now. 4 biofuel per minute. Okay, so less than half in terms of biofuel. And if we have a look and we see how this works, it is going to be 8 biomass is going to give us 4 biofuel. Okay, so it's going to be half and it's going to give us double. So, yeah, that's a good thing to consider for another step in the process of being able to make a more efficient our burning of our biofuel. Now, the thing that we have to consider here as we're doing this is that this biofuel, whilst it is going down, we can swap this out, but we still have this biomass. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in here for now. We want to be able to swap all of these over for biofuel. It's going to make life a lot easier. And now we want to have a look at our hub terminal. The hub is back, and we can now look at base building. Base building going to be very easy because we've done one of the tier 2 items now. So now we can look at our base building and what we need to do to achieve this. Very, very easy. We just come along to here, pick this up, and in here we can drop this off. It's done. The next one that we can do are going to be these plates. We can grab all of these plates, and we can now grab all of these rods as well. We've got a few more rods here. And that is going to allow us to upgrade not only the rods, but also the plates. And as you can see, we are almost there. Just a few more bits that we need to do. So we don't have any iron at the moment, so there's nothing here we need to do. We'll take this And we're just going to do these copper ingots to turn them into wire for now. So we've got that. Okay, so that's done. Now we've got nothing else really here at the moment. We'll take a little bit of this. Take this biofuel out. Put this back in. And we'll swap out the last one here, which is this last one here. Perfect. So now we've got biofuel in each of those. And that will keep us going for now, whilst we work on the next thing that we need to do. So having a look at this current setup, it's not really that efficient for us. It's okay and it works, but it's not super efficient. We can make it a lot better. So the way that we can do that is by considering what's happening with these miners. Well, when this miner comes out at the moment, we know that we've got 60 ore per minute coming out, but only 30 ore per minute is going in, which means this is running at 100%. But it means that the miner is only running at 50%. So the miner could run at an additional 50% if we were to split this smelter into two. So let's go and have a look at our logistics, and we can see we have a lift, we have the merger and the splitter. So these are new items that we have available to us. So we can go ahead and grab a splitter, and we can actually put this splitter here in between the miner and this smelter. We can now create a new smelter. In order to do this, we need a few rods. So let's just go ahead and grab these. And let's head back. We're going to right click to grab this smelter, and we're going to put another smelter right next to it. In fact, we're not going to go right next to it. We're actually going to come out just ever so slightly, because we want to come out a little bit. There we go. All right, we're going to come out a little bit like this. Now, if we go ahead and grab the conveyor belt, we can come from this. We can actually come across into here. And what's going to happen now is the miner is bringing 60 out, and we're splitting that here. So 30 is going to go into this smelter, and 30 is going to go into this smelter. And because it can take 30 per minute, this miner is now going to be working at 100% efficiency. It's going to take a little bit of time to build up, but this will build up to 100%, which means that this will work at 100%, this will work at 100%, and this will also work at 100%. Now we need to grab a little bit of power here. We'll just stick this down just over here, out the way, and we're just going to power it up. Now what we need is another constructor, because at the moment that iron that we're smelting isn't going to go anywhere. So we need 2 reinforced plates. We'll come and get some screws. We've already got some plates. We just need some screws. We'll make 2 of these reinforced plates. And as you can see, we're not worrying too much now about sending stuff up. We've got our biomass being as efficient as possible, and we've also got the ability to create more efficiency through these splitters. So now we're going to create another constructor here. We'll just make sure this is facing the right way. And what we're trying to do is just grab this so it works, which sometimes a little bit challenging depending on where you're placing it. I don't know if that's going to work. We're going to try it from there. Yep, that works perfectly. So now that's going to come out of here into here. Now this one was making iron plates. So what we can do now is hold down Control and press C on this one to copy the settings. Hold down Control and press V, and we're going to paste the settings onto this one. So now we've just copied that. Grab the power line that we added. And then what we'll do here is, because this power line is on 3 or 4, we're actually going to just create another power line here. We've got a spare one. And then this one we'll use to power up this. Now there's power lines all over the place. There's conveyor belts all over the place. It's crazy messy at the moment, but we're going to sort this out. Don't worry. What we're now going to do is create a merger. So these are the plates that were coming out before. What we're going to do is just put a merger on this. And we're going to come back here from this one. We're going to connect this up. All right, so what we've done now, very simple. We have 60 ore per minute coming out of this miner here. 60 ore per minute. This splitter is splitting it 50-50. So 30 coming down here and 30 going down there. As a result, this smelter is taking 30 and pushing out 30. So we have 30 coming into here. It requires 30 and it pushes out 20. So from the 60 ore per minute being generated, everything is running at 100% and we are getting 40 plates per minute. 20 per here and 20 per here. And we can see these 10 and 10, 10 and 10. That will be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 10, 20. You can see the gap. So what this means is this can push 20 per minute down, 60 per minute, sorry, down this. So at the moment we only have 20 per minute and 20 per minute, which means that these are creating 40 per minute. And you can actually see the two gaps there for the 60. So this can handle 60, but it's only taking 40, and you can see this. Which means that at the moment, this whole network is running at 100% efficiency. Now, if we look at this, it's still a little bit scatty at the moment. And so let's see if we can continue right now to make this network efficient. Well, the first thing we're going to do is check out this, take out our limestone and put it into here because this is run out again. So we'll put that into there for now. And again, this is going to allow us to make this 100% efficient, which is great. We're not going to worry about anything else right now. We're just going to look at these rods. So let's go ahead and do exactly the same thing that we just did on the plates, but let's do it for the rods. So we know that we have 60 per minute coming out of this miner. We know that we have 30 per minute going into here, so we can create another smelter. We already know this process. This is quite simple and straightforward. We're going to actually put them here, but that's going to be higher because of the rock that it's sitting on. At the moment, we don't care. It's going to be spaghetti. There's going to be some clipping. We don't care. The reason for that is because we're going to build foundations and we're going to fix everything. So this can be as messy as you like. You're learning. And when you're learning, we don't care about any of the challenges that we're going to be facing. So 60 per minute coming out, 30 in here. From this, we're going to control C. From this, we're going to control V. And now this is going to work as soon as we add power to it. So let's go ahead and grab some more power. If we can find another pole. I know we made one, but I don't know where it is. I think we must have used it up. So we're going to grab another pole. We'll put that over this side here. We're just going to drag that right here. There's a bit of clipping, but we don't care. We're just going to connect this building up. Now we know that we have 30 per minute coming out of here, but this is only taking 15 per minute. 15 per minute, which means we can actually split this. And because we've got 30 coming out of here, we can split this twice. And we can also split this one twice. So we need a total of 4 constructors. Well, if we go into here and look at production, we want to create 3 additional constructors. We can see we're going to need quite a bit of concrete. We'll get rid of the space elevator for now. So we're going to need quite a bit of reinforced iron plates and a bit of cable. So let's go ahead and make some screws. We've already got our plates. So all we need is reinforced iron plates. We can't make enough of these. So let's go ahead and grab some of these. Look, we've got loads of these here now. Loads of these. We're picking up everything that we need now. Look, we're just picking it all up and holding it. So we're starting to gather more as we're doing this. We're not wasting time. We're being efficient. And that's the key here. We want to be efficient. So we know that we're going to need 6 reinforced iron plates to make the 3 additional that we need. We also need some cable, which we've got. We've got everything else we need. So we're in a good place. So let's go and we're going to make these additional, and also what we're going to do here, by the way, is we're going to remove this smelter, and I'll explain why in just a second. Because the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to add this constructor here, Then we're going to add another constructor. Oh, actually, let's add them the right way, shall we? Let's try and do this correctly. So this one is going to go like so. That's 2. That's going to be 3. And then that's going to be 4. So there's our 4 constructors. Let's go ahead and grab those splitters again. So the first one we want from logistics, the first splitter, is actually going to split from here. And it's going to be a bit messy, but we're going to go from this smelter into this. We're going to go and Control C and Control V. We're also going to go here and Control V and here and Control V. So now they're all set up for the rods. We're also going to connect all of the power up, but we're missing some cables for that. So very easy. We just put a craft bench down and we're just going to make a few cables that we need. Perfect. All right, so the power is here. We're going to connect up. That one's done. We'll connect up that power line. That's at 3 or 4. So now what we're going to do is put another one down. We'll connect up this one. We'll connect up this one. And then we're going to put down another power line. So we'll grab from here. Oh, we're just going to put down here for now. And now what we can do is grab another smelter. But this smelter can go here. Like so. And the reason being is we want to line up so that this smelter goes directly into here. But we need a little bit of a gap. Because this smelter is going to have to go into here. This, which is the splitter, is going to go into here. And then we're going to put another splitter down. Hopefully you're still following me. And that is going to go into here. So now, just to recap exactly what we've done. We have a miner. The miner is producing 60 per minute. It is splitting here, 30 and 30. We know smelters take 30. And so that is fine. We have 30 in here and 30 in here. Now the constructors are only 15 per minute, but we have 30 coming out. So we're splitting 15 and 15, and we are splitting 15 and 15. What that means is that this is going to push through to here. This has no power, so we still need to power this from here to here. And now everything is powered up. This is now working. This is working. And all of these rods are now being created. So that's great so far. That works really, really well. So what's happening is it's creating 15 rods per minute. But we've just lost our power. The reason for that is that we're at max now is 76, but our capacity is only 70. So we need to put down another biomass burner. We've simply run out of room here. So what we're going to do is put another power grid down here, connect up this biomass burner. We need another cable to do this. So we'll actually run back inside now. We just make a couple more cables. Hopefully this all makes sense. We're going to grab a bit more of the biomass. We're going to put that into here. Grab this solid biomass, the solid biofuel. Load this one up. And we're going to connect this power line to here. Done. So now what we've done is we open up this. 70 now. It should be 100. So we're now up to 100. Because we've got all of this extra space. So we have to expand the power as we're expanding the network. And that means more biofuel. So we have to bear that in mind also. Okay, so now what we have is all of these rods that are being created. But we don't simply just want to take these rods back, because we could do that. It's going to take a bit of time. What we actually want to do is create some more of these constructors. And the reason for that is we want to make some screws. So in order to make some screws, we need some more constructors. And for that, we're going to need some more reinforced iron plates. So we'll go ahead and make some screws. We've already got the iron plates, so we'll just make reinforced iron plates. We're actually going to go ahead and make a couple more here. Okay. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to make, we'll just copy this and we'll make another constructor. Oh, we're missing a bit of cabling, sorry. So let's go ahead and grab the cable. Just make a few of these. They don't take long. It's all good. We've got enough material to do this. All right, middle mouse wheel. We'll bring this out. Okay, and we'll just chuck this here for now. And what we're looking to do is from here to here. This is going to take these iron rods. And we're going to make screws. And it needs 10 iron rods per minute. Well, at the moment, we have 15 coming out. So, if we put a merger in here. Okay, we can put a merger just here, like so. And what this is going to do is it's going to take the 15 from here. And it's going to take another 15 from here. So that's going to create 30 per minute into here. But this only needs 10 per minute. What that means is I can actually create another constructor. And if I go and make 2 more plates, I can create another constructor. Now, this can start to get overwhelming and you might possibly have lost me at this stage. If you have, don't worry. This happens. Just take your time. Go through everything. It does get easier. You will understand this in time. But what I'm doing right now is I have 15 coming out of here, iron rods, plus 15 coming out of here, which is 30. So 15 plus 15 is 30. So 30 is currently going into here. But this only needs 10. So because I have 30 going into here, but I only need 10, I can actually do what is called a merger. And what that is going to do is it's going to merge this. And what we're going to do is we're going to create another merger. And this next merger is going to go right here like so. So we're just going to line this up perfectly here. And if you're not sure if it's lined up properly, just press H. And then you can look around. All right, so this is lined up here. Is it lined up here? Yep, that's pretty good. All right, let's put that down. So 30 are going into here, of which we're going to merge these into... Oh, no, 1 second. Oh, look, I've done that one wrong. This is actually not a merger. I apologize. This needs to be a splitter. That is going to be a splitter, and it's going to split into here. And that is not going to be a merger either. That's going to be a splitter. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. All right, let's... we need one more cable. We're missing some cables. So we're going to just chuck this down. And remember, we've just had a power cut. Make that cable that we need. We're going to make a few extra because we're going to need power to sort out afterwards. All right, so sorry, we're making splitters, not mergers. So we're merging into one, and then we're splitting here. And then what we're going to do is just line this up perfectly here. Like so. And again, if we're unsure, we'll just get this to the point where it looks like it's right. That looks good to me. We'll put that down. And then what we're going to do is from here, we're going to come out of here into here. This one's going into there. This one is going into there. And then the final one, which doesn't actually need one, it's just going to go straight into there. And now what's happening is we have 15 and 15, which is putting out 30. And out of this, actually, what's happening is 15 and 15. Now, this doesn't need 15, it needs 10, which means after a while, this is going to back up, and the excess will go down here. The excess will go down here until this fills up, and then it will go down till this fills up. So we've actually created 2 separate networks here, and I want to just quickly take a moment to explain these to you. You see, there are 2 different ways that you can build within this game, and there's no right or wrong way, it's just whatever feels best for you. So the first method that we started with is called a load balancer. The load balancer is very simple. You use splitters and mergers to either split, merge, or to loop back so that you can work out the ratios to make exactly the right amount of resources based on your ability for your infrastructure so that each machine gets exactly what it needs. This is fine, however, the more that you build out load balancers, the more footprint it needs, the more complex it gets, the bigger it gets, the harder it gets, and it doesn't scale that easy. It's quite complicated to to manage effectively. Another way aside, because a load balancer is good and there are times for it. For example, at the start here, when it's not that bad, it's easy to set up. Also, if you're dealing with something like radioactive waste and you don't want to get radioactive poisoning, you don't want it to sit idly on the conveyor belt, you want it to keep moving. And so there are times when a load balancer will come in useful. Otherwise, you can use what is called a manifold. So a load balancer is when you balance the load perfectly using splitters and mergers. And a manifold is what we've used here. And what a manifold does is it effectively just takes everything that you've got. So in this example, 15 and 15 creates 30. We push everything in once and it goes into what is known as this is a manifold. So it will push everything into here. It will go 15 and 15. This only requires 10, which means after a while it will back up. And so whilst 15 is going down here, eventually 20 will go down here. And then as 20 is going down here, it will split 10 and 10. And that's exactly what it needs. So this will take longer to balance. It won't balance quite as quick as a load balancer. The manifold system takes longer to stock up. But once it's all working, it'll be at 100% and it will be nice and easy. And you can scale this indefinitely. You just need to add more splitters, more mergers, more devices. And you can build this out. It's a much more simplistic system. It's much easier to manage. You don't need to worry about exact ratios. You just need to make sure you have enough input. As long as the input is bigger than the output, you're fine. And so this is what we're going to use here to be able to do this. So everything's currently working as intended. What we need to do now is make sure we've got enough biofuel, which actually we don't. We've run out of biofuel, and that is why this network has crashed. So we're going to grab this biofuel that we've got here. We'll load that up. And in here, we're just going to grab half of this biofuel. We'll put that in there. We'll check this one out, which has still got 19. And this one here, which has got 53. So we're just going to chuck 50 in there. We'll turn this back on. And yeah, we're good to go. So now everything's roaring along. All right, so now this is all working. Everything's working really well. We need to make sure we connect up the power, because that's one thing we have not done. So we're going to look for that power. That's 4. So we're going to grab one of these and bring it over this side here. All right, so that's connected. That's connected. We need to connect this one. We need to connect. I believe we're going to need to connect another one here. So we'll just do this. And then this one will connect there and also there. All right, and so for now, that should be okay. So now what we've got, as this is being created, is rods. We've got 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. Going in and making screws, 40, 80, and 120, which is obviously more than what we need. So what we're going to do here, because that's going to be 40 coming out, that's going to be 40 coming out, which is going to be 80, and then this is going to be 120. Now this is going to mean that because of all of this coming out, this isn't going to be effective. It's going to be too slow, because we can only handle 60 per minute. So that's great. That's the 40 coming out of there. But then we've got 40 coming out of there. So this is now merging 80. But we can only push 60 to there, which means we're going to stack up here. At the same time, this is going to bring it up to 120. But the problem we've got here is we can't push this. So now we've got 120 coming out of here and we can't really do anything about it. So we're going to have to bear that in mind. Also, we need to have another container. We don't really have anywhere to put this container at the moment. We're kind of struggling for space a little bit. So we need to find somewhere where this container can go. We've got the ability to move this constructor, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to put a box down here instead. So this box is going to go down here just like so. And then these three are going to go from here into this box. And then that constructor that we had, we're actually going to put down this way instead now. So we've got a little bit of gap to run through. We'll grab that power that we had over here, which was this one. Connect up that. All right, so now everything's connected. 88 is the maximum possible that we're going to have. We've got 100 capacity, so we're fine. We're actually really good at the moment. We're going to keep making that solid biofuel. So we'll just chuck this in here to really make the most of this. All right, now we've got that solid biofuel. We'll just we'll load this one up, and we'll just keep working through those. All right. So now what we've got, and this has taken quite a bit of work, is we have this miner 60 splitting into 30 going into 2 different smelters. This smelter has 15, 15, and 15 going in here. Sorry, 15 and 15 going in here, which is the 30 that's coming out. So 30 comes out, 15 and 15 is perfect, because that's all it can take. This has the same, 15 and 15, it's perfect. These are not doing anything. So this one here is just going straight out. This one we need to merge. So what we'll do is we'll just put a merger on here. And this is what is known as spaghetti junctions. We're clipping through stuff. We've got all this spaghetti working at the moment. It's all a bit of a mess. 15 coming out of here, 15 coming out of there, 30 going down there. So we've got plates coming out, we've got rods coming out, and we've now got screws coming out. But as you can see, it gets pretty hectic pretty quickly. If we just come up here to have a look at what we've done, it's a bit of a mess. All right? And so this is why we need foundations. You do not want to be building like this. The simplicity over here of the much appreciated limestone, just straight in from our miner to constructor, is easy. Even the copper right now, which we haven't optimized, the copper is okay. But the iron, we've completely optimized this, and look at what it looks like right now. It's a mess. This is known as spaghetti junction. And you can do this. Absolutely you can, but you're going to lose track of things quite quickly. So what we want to do is put some foundations down so we can optimize things, clean things up, and make it just a bit more efficient. So for that, we're going to come back in, and we're going to look at our hub terminal. And for base building, we just need a few more of these. So let's see what we can build here. All right, 191 of these now. As you can see, we're starting to scale up and get a lot more. So we can now send this off. And by doing this, we've also got field research. Field research is the last thing in the tier 1. And I'm going to do that in a moment. I'm not going to do it right now because we've got the plates. Yeah, we've got the... We can put this in. So this is already done. We've got enough plates. So that's done. And actually, we've got all of these screws now coming in. And so because we've got the screws, we can start to fill this up. It's not quite ready yet. So... for the purpose of simplicity, because I could send both up together, I'm just going to send off the base so we can talk about what we get as a result.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
All right, so into organizing, we now have what is called a lookout tower. So we can now build this. And a lookout tower is going to give us a lot more. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin this around. We're actually going to place it. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it. Might not. Need to kind of find the right place for it where it works. Pretty sure we can get it up here. Oh, I think we just need to... Because the floor is too steep. I mean, we could just put it on the floor like any normal person would, and that would be fine. I'm just seeing if we can get it up here to make it a little bit higher, and you'll understand why in a minute. There we go. So now what we can do is we can actually jump up onto here. We can climb up onto this tower, and because we put it on the rock, it's going to be a little bit higher and also a little bit out of the way. So this lookout tower almost gives us a top-down perspective so we can see everything. There is our copper, there is our limestone, and over here is everything we've built. So the first miner here into 2 smelters, into 2 plates, very simple, going into a container. And then here we have a miner into 2 smelters, into 4 constructors, 2 of the rods going into the crate, the other 2 rods going into another 3 constructors, making these screws. Now, obviously, these are backing up at the moment, so they're not being completely efficient, but you get to see this working. So we've pretty much optimized most of this, and now we can start looking at building out our base. We've got foundations. So we've got 1, 2, and 4 meter foundations, and we've got 1, 2, and 4 meter ramps. We've also got 1 and 4 meter walls. So what we're going to do right now is with a 2 meter foundation, we're going to go and place one. And we can place it wherever we want. We're going to just kind of stand on the edge here to do this. Trying to get a good view. Now we can place a foundation just by left clicking and it will place. But we can also hold down control. And if we hold down control, can you see how this is at a different angle? The reason for this is if I hold down control, I am locking on to what is known as the world grid. The world grid is always going to orientate the same way. So you don't want to build randomly. You always want to build on the world grid. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select the 2 meter foundation. We're going to hold down control and we're going to place our first grid. And I'm going to go ahead and place that just here. Now I can go ahead and do one at a time, or I can press the R key and that's going to change it into zoop mode. Now if I left click, drag to where I want it to go, and then I can simply let go and it will do up to 10 spaces. So I can now move along, click here, zoom out, and I can do the last one on the end there. And what this is going to allow me to do is build out a lovely foundation for my base. And you can see here as I do this, oh, I'm going to start to build out here. And I've actually run out of concrete. But you see that I can start to build out this foundation. Now I can press R again and go into vertical mode, and that's going to allow me to build up. So you can build a foundation, you can also build up. There's a lot you can do here. But right now we've actually run out of concrete, so we're going to jump down here. Hurt ourselves a little bit in the process. But we're going to go ahead and grab some more of this. Remembering that this isn't being efficient, so we're going to grab this. Load it up into here. We'll fix that later. And now we can go back up, get onto our ivory tower. And we can go and see the foundations and finish this off. Now, you can build this out. It's going to take a bit of time. But the goal for me right now... oh, that's vertical. I don't want to be vertical. So we're going to go into zoop. I don't know what I don't call it horizontal. We're going to put it into zoop mode. All right. So now we've got this foundation. So we can kind of just come down. Pick these up. The other thing that we can do right now is we can put down another equipment. So we picked the last one up. If you remember, we had one of those equipment benches, but we picked it back up. So let's put that down. We'll go into here to the equipment workshop. And we're going to put this down, and we're actually going to put it down. We're going to put it down just on top of this hill right here, just for now. And we're going to come inside, and we can make a chainsaw. So let's right click on this and add it to the to-do list so we can see what is required. Right, we need some cable, we need some screws, which we can make, and we need some reinforced plates. All right, so let's, well, we could make them screws or we can just grab them from here, right? Because we've got them. So let's grab them screws, let's make those reinforced plates. We need 5 of them. And then we can make a chainsaw. This is going to make our life just a little bit easier if we go ahead and jump into the equipment manager, make ourselves a chainsaw that takes 15 seconds. Now we can chop down trees. So one of the things you're going to need to do is put a little bit of biofuel in here. So we're going to grab some biofuel. We'll grab the biomass that we've currently got and we'll load this into here. And then what we're going to do is take this biofuel because we don't want to run out. That's very important. And we've got one here. We've got another one here. This is on 54. So we'll put this on 100. We'll check out this one that's on 44. We'll put a little bit more in there. So that's on 70. And then this one's on 28. So we're going to put that on 41. All right. So now we've got enough biofuel at the moment. But we can find any of these trees. If we go into our settings, we've got our hands. We can actually add a chainsaw. And as long as we've got biofuel, we can left click and we can chop down a tree. Now, if you chop down a tree, you will get more wood for it, but that tree will not grow back. So just bear in mind, as you are doing this, you are part of the problem of deforestation. Now, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but, you know, needs must. And sometimes if you need to be able to chop stuff down, well, this is just giving you a way to do it. You're going to acquire much more as a result of this. So, again, a couple of trees here. Now, these are just small trees, but we can go ahead and grab those. Grab this one as well. And we can go ahead. I saw one here as well. We'll grab this one. All right, let's go and grab this one. And look how much wood we've got at the moment. Now, we don't want to go too far. We don't want to go too crazy. But this is definitely a way to be able to get a lot of wood quickly. And much better than what we were doing before. All right, we'll grab this. And then we're going to head back. Now, what we've actually seen here is actually a bit of quartz. Raw quartz. It's this pink kind of thing. And this is just temporary. Meaning that if we grab this...
levels akin to synthetic quartz manufactured on Earth and can be used to improve communication and exploration technologies. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
All right. So now we've got a bit of quartz. Now, you might not be lucky enough to find that. Eventually you will. So don't worry if you don't find it. It's not a problem. Let's jump out of here. All right, we're going to pick this stuff up. And again, just grabbing these trees. Perfect. Now, I think there was just a couple more over here. And one here. Couple over there. And that should be more than enough. We've now got nearly 200 wood, which is great. And these are only small trees, by the way. You can go and find much bigger trees to cut down. You look over there, some of these trees over in the distance here are much, much bigger. If you grab them, you'll get a lot more wood from them. We're just going to grab these little ones for now. Fantastic. All right, so as we're walking around, we've managed to find a blue slug. A blue slug, you'll see it's got these little drips coming down. You'll find them all around the map. If you're looking around, you will see them. There's a yellow slug up there that you can see. This is a blue slug. There's another slug up there. So they're all around. We're going to click this. It's going to come in very handy.
This semi-slug seems to emit unfamiliar energy readings which could potentially be retrofitted into fix-it technology. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
All right, so it keeps talking about this MAM, but we don't actually have access to it yet. So let's go ahead now. We've done quite a lot so far. Let's look inside the hub terminal. The last thing to create here is the field research. This is tier 1 to finish off tier 1. This will unlock the map, the MAM, the object scanner, the personal storage box, and another hand slot as well as some inventory slots. So we just need a few more screws. We've actually got enough. Let's get that sent.
The map has been unlocked.
Okay.
Milestone reached. The molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, will allow R&D to provide new technologies, items, and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note: the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
All right, so let's just connect this one up. I think that's where that needs to go. Let's just make sure we're right. So out of there, no, that's not actually going to work. So we just need to see if we can get this here. No, I've done that wrong again. Okay. For some reason, I'm I'm really struggling to get this lined up. I don't know why. Hopefully that's okay. There we go. That's better. So the reason I've done this is because I want to put a box here before it goes in. The reason for this is now I can just grab all of this biofuel, and rather than doing it a bit at a time, I can just dump it all in here and it will just go through and it will turn it all into solid biofuel. Now I could put another box on here, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I've collected everything I've got. Petals, flower petals here, they're going to be removed from the game, so you can simply just delete them and destroy them. You don't need them. But in terms of where we are right now, we've kind of built a solid starting base for iron. We've also built out what is a solid start for the moment for concrete. But we still need to do a little bit more over here. So we haven't quite finished this, because if we look at our copper, we're not making any wire, and we're not being fully efficient. You can see it's still a bit sketchy here. So let's just go ahead and finish this. So we start by making another smelter. We can then grab ourselves, and we're going to do this quite quickly, and we're going to not worry about this being perfect. So then what we're going to do, we're going to bring this down here. We're going to spaghetti junction this. So we're going to come out of here into here. Now that's going to come, as you can see, it looks really messy. This is not ideal and not the best way to do it. But we're going to come 60 down, 30 and 30, which we know. That's perfect. That's going to make 30 copper ingots, but of which we're only using 15 here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make some additional constructors, which we need reinforced iron plates for. So let's just go ahead and finish off this loop here, which means we're going to need quite a few constructors, which means we're going to need quite a few reinforced iron plates. So let's go ahead and make about 10 of these for now, just so we've got enough. And then we're going to go ahead, set them constructors up, and we're going to start getting ready to optimize the copper process. So exactly what we did with the iron, and you should be a little bit more familiar with it now. So the way we're going to do this is we have 2 constructors here. Oh, we're actually missing cables. How ironic. In fact, you know what? We don't need to do this. We can just put down a craft bench right here, and we'll just make cable from that. Okay. We're going to make loads of cable. And this is why we need to start making cable, so we're not like in this position here. So, okay, we're going to go 1, 2, we're going to go 3, and then we're going to go 4. Because we're going to need 4 of those. We're actually going to move this one over a little bit. So we can go ahead now and kind of line this up a bit better. There we go. And we'll just take away that. This is still going to come into here as so. This one now we are going to split. So this is going to split from here. And that's going to feed into here. This one is going to feed into here. And then we're going to split exactly the same. So create a splitter. Again, this is not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. All right. And we're going to make sure these are all doing the same thing. So we're going to Control C on this one. Control V. We're going to Control V. We'll just set that one to do copper ingots. And at the end here, we're going to Control V. And the only problem is we don't have any power coming in, so we're going to have to grab a power line, of which these are all full. So we'll go ahead and grab one of these, put it down just here. And then we're going to connect up this. We'll put another one down here. We'll connect up that building. We'll connect up that building. We'll put another one down here. We're going to connect up that building. So now all the buildings are connected up. And let's look. 104 out of 100. So we're in a problem right now where we've run out of power again. All right, well, how do we fix that? Quite simple. We just add another reactor. And this is just a kind of dance where we are constantly going back and forth. Now we need to be able to add another one of these, and I actually think we're going to struggled to get this one in here. Oh, we might just be okay. Right, that can go in there. And then we're missing a cable. So already, can you see how confusing this is? Like, how do we get back? Where do we go? Where's the base? We'll fix all of this in a minute. But this is probably how you're going to start out. And so I want to do this to show you, because so many content creators, and I love them. There's some amazing content creators out there. They're really good. But they focus on these amazing bases that are so efficient and everything looks great. And it's just not that realistic. Because this is realistically what is going to happen. You're going to be like this. You will. This is how everybody starts. All over the place. Trying to figure stuff out. Trying to move around and get through things, and it's all just chaotic. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go back over now. We've got more power. We're going to go back over and finish off the cabling that we need. Just so that we're in a position that we can get that copper to where we need to be. We're almost there. We're almost there. And then we're going to delete everything. We'll let it run for a little while so it can build itself up. But then what we're going to do is we're going to delete it all, but we're going to rebuild it on the foundation. And you might think, well, why are we building this here if we're just going to build it on the foundation? Well, because it's practice. And practice makes perfect. And actually, that's what we need to do right now, is we need to understand how these systems work. So I think it's very good for you to be able to come along here and just keep practicing and building out these basic loops. Because once you understand the basic loop, we can move on to something a bit more complex. Too many people tried to build a mega factory from day one, and it just doesn't work. You have to start at the basic. So for the next 30 minutes, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to finish this off, and we're going to focus on efficiency. That's what we're aiming for right now. We're aiming for efficiency. We've got more item slots, as you can already see. So that's great. We're going to drop off all of the biomass into there. We'll take the solid biofuel that we've got. We'll load up all of these, because the key now is to try and get these up to a decent amount. So there's over 100 in those two. We've got this one that's at 75. We've got this one that's 87. And there's actually another one. Was there not? Hold on. Yep, there is a third one. So there's... Yep. 86. 160. 74. And then those two as well. All right, cool. Let's head back over here. So these are all working right now. They're all making copper wire, right? So this is pushing out 30 copper wire per minute. These three are all doing the same. So what we want to do now is we actually want to build some more constructors. Why, you might ask? Well, because we need to make some wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin these round. And we're going to chuck down just 2 more. All right, so if I want to make cable here, I need 60 wire per minute. Well, 30 wire per minute comes out of this one. And 30 wire per minute comes out of that one. So I can move this. And what I can do is just drag that to here. Perfect. And this can come out of here straight into there. We need a merger here. We want to create a merger. And the reason for that is we want to merge this one into here. And that is 30 and 30 into here to create 60. And that is going to make our cable that we need. Right, now we just need to create a power line, which again, we're running out. 2 to 4. And then this one as well, we're going to merge on here. Now this one again is pushing out 30 per minute. This one is pushing out 30 per minute. So now we have 60 per minute coming down here. And we also have coming out of here 30 per minute internal cables. Perfect. So what we'll do is we're just going to build another box. We'll just put this box here for now. And this one is going to link up to there. Perfect. And that's it. Now we have cables coming into this box. It's not perfect. It's not ideal, but it works. But we have cables coming into this box. We have everything else in the basics that we need coming into that box. Cables coming into here and screws over the other side. And we could move the screws over here, but yeah, you know, we'd have to just mess stuff about and move it about, and we're not bothered right now. We just want to get this working. So let's have a look at our power. Our power is much better now. It's not perfect, and the reason it's not perfect is actually due to this over here. If I bring you over here and I grab this and put this into here, this is our problem. It is this not being efficient. So if we just fill this up and now come back over here, you're going to see this is going to be a lot cleaner. In fact, it's almost flatlining. You can see this here. It's not perfect. There's still a little inconsistency. But what you're going to notice is we're getting there. So again, this one at the moment, not fully processing. In fact, if I was to turn this on standby for now and have a look, let's see how this affects the network. So there we go. We put that on standby. Now we've leveled off. We've got a little dip. Picks back up. All right, so we can still see an inconsistency. So let's go and see if we can find out where that is. We want to try and perfect this inconsistency. So, all right, let's go and have a look. And we'll do one line at a time. So we're going to start with here. This is running at 96%. We can see that. 60 per minute coming out, which is 30 and 30. Right, so we know that's coming in here. This is running at 100%. That's fine. This one is running at 97%. It's almost there. It's picking up. Great. So let's start with this left-hand line. 30 is going out. All right? Which means 15 is going into here. And it means that 15 is going into there. This is 100%. And this is at 100%. Perfect. Out of here, we can see these are both merging and going into storage. This is fine. So let's look at the other side. 30 comes down here into this. 100%. Okay. And then we know that splits 15 into here, which is at 98%, almost there. And this one, 99%, almost there. Okay. Then we know that we're splitting these into 10, 10, and 10. So 10 going in, 40 coming out. 10 going in, 40 coming out. I'm going to pick these screws up, actually, because there's too many here. And 10 in here. I'm going to pick those up as well. All right, so these are all going to be running at just about 100%. But the problem we have right now is we can't get them in here quick enough. We can't get them in here quick enough because of this. This is the problem. You see how these are all stacking up on here? Well, the reason that's happening is because these belts are only a Mark 1 belt. And they can only transport 60 resources per minute. And we have 40 plus 40, which is 80 here. So this is too slow. Plus another 40, which is 120 here. This is too slow. So we're not pushing this out quick enough, which is why these weren't at 100%. But they're a little bit better now. And so look, we've cleaned this up. See how we've cleaned it up now? It's almost perfect. The reason it's not perfect is because this has got some pushback where the conveyor belts aren't quick enough. Also, we've got additional pushback over the other side here because we know there's inconsistency here. Because this has 60 per minute coming down, but it can only process 45 per minute. So we're not able to be fully efficient at the moment. But this is very close. You see how close we've got this? And in fact, at this point, look, we've actually just made it so it's perfect. So right now, if we look at consumption, we are perfect right now. But we know we're going to get two... if we leave it for long enough, we're going to get two elements that are going to mess us up. The limestone is going to mess us up. And also the screws are going to mess us up. So we can't do anything like until we manage to upgrade those belts. So as long as we know what the problem is, we can keep on top of it. A big part of engineering is fault finding and fixing problems. But what we've managed to do right now is we've managed to create a very efficient network that is actually running. As you can see here, look, we just wait a few more seconds, we have a perfect flat line. And this is exactly what you want. You want your capacity to be under, your consumption to be under your capacity, and your max consumption to be under your capacity, and you want to be running at 100%, which is what we are now, just under. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do now as a result of all of our hard work is we're going to run around and we're going to top up these biofuels so that they're all at 200, because that's important. And then what we're going to do is we're going to end this video because we're just about done. But in this process of doing all of this work, we have been gaining all of this material, which is fantastic, because this material, look at this. We've got all of these plates. We've got all of this. If we come over here, we've actually picked up all of these. Now, what we can do here, this isn't going to be pretty, but it will work, is we can go ahead and put another box and we can put it on top here like so. We can actually pick up this storage container, remove this slightly. We can go from here. Now, again, this isn't pretty, but it will work. Spaghetti junction, this is known as. It just means that we've cleaned up this box a little bit. And we've got one more of these, and we don't really want to move this because this is the screws. So we're going to leave that for now because they're the screws. And we're also going to get rid of all the things at the moment that we don't need on us. So these, all these little things that are not important to us. Okay. All right. We have a chainsaw. We have our zapper. We can use middle mouse wheel to get rid of these. We've got all of our boxes here, which is fantastic. We've got those. And we're in a really good place. Really strong place. All we now need to do, in fact, if we want to make this absolutely perfect, we can put that up here. Now, this is not going to look nice. It's not going to look nice. But we could actually grab this from here, and we could actually connect it straight into there. It's going to go through this. This is not ideal. We should not be doing this. This is really bad. Really bad. Like running this through here like this. This is not okay. But in this initial part of what we're doing, just to get this all working, so everything is here, and then we can actually pick up this one, put this on top as well, just turn it around, and all we need to do is just connect this, get rid of that, and then here we go from this top one. This is actually saying it's too steep. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to come all the way back round here. We're going to come back round and have a better run up at this. There we go. And then we'll be able to run up there. So, bit more work. Looks absolutely chaotic, but it works. And now, what we've done is we've put all of these here. Now, we don't necessarily need these out the front. I was just showing you as an example. We're going to remove these. And you can leave this for now. You can go and make a cup of tea. You can go and relax. Very proud of yourself for the fact that you've actually managed to settle this up and it's working. Again, this isn't ideal. You might want to set that up to go higher. It can actually go over the top if you need it to. Could look a lot better if you were to do that. We do have lifts. So let me just quickly show you the lift that we could put in here. So the lift, what we can do is put a lift in. We can put it down like so. So it sits there like that. And then the top part, we can just put a bit higher like so. This is now a lift. We can just push this into the bottom part here. And now we can put the top part into there as we was. Which, it looks a bit better. It actually does look a bit better. It's not clipping as much. It is still clipping, but not as much as it was. It's also not in our way anymore. So you could technically use lifts to do this. We've still got that bottleneck, which is going to be a bit of a problem. And in fact, if we look at the power rating now, you'll see that bottleneck is starting to kick in. Now, that first bottleneck that we're seeing is this one, where we've actually run out of... Oh, no, we've actually got enough limestone, so it's not limestone that's a problem. It's actually going to be this. 79 screws, that's okay. 184, that's okay. It should be this one. No, not quite sure what that challenge is. Ah, maybe it's this one here. Because this is 188. I don't know. There's something not quite 100%. Doesn't really matter. We're going to rebuild this anyway. Alright, now that's at 200. We'll just do this one as well. So this is now at 200. We've got another one here. We're going to put that. So it's almost at 200. And that is all we really need to do at this stage. We've built what is a crazy bit of spaghetti junctioning going on here. But it works. It's efficient. And so you might be happy with this. This mayhem, this carnage, this chaos, this madness. This might be you. And if this is you, great. Crack on. Just carry on and enjoy. Because that's what this is all about. It's a game. All right? Just enjoy it. But if you're looking at this right now and you can kind of feel your left eye twitching slightly, you're really unhappy, but you don't quite know why. And it's probably your OCD kicking in, and you're probably looking at this going, I can't bear this anymore. And so if that's you, what we're going to do now is we're going to strip all of this back, and we're going to move it over here. And to do that, we actually need a little bit of preparation and a bit of planning. So getting this to this stage, allowing us to efficiently create plates, rods, screws, wire. We've got cable, and we've got cement. This is everything we need at the base level of the game. Everything that is here, we are now creating, including biofuel. So this works. What we need to do, I'm just going to jump down here, just to make this a bit easier, is we are not making reinforced iron plates, and we can't do that yet because that requires plates and it requires screws. We don't have the ability to do that. And that's the only thing we can't make right now. And for that, what we would need is another item, which is in tier 2, and that will be the assembler. So we've completed tier 1. We've got the base building. We've done the logistics. We've got the field research. And we're just going to finish off talking about this before the end of this video. We've got about 10 minutes left. So I just want to talk through the map, the MAM, and the object scanner before we end out this video. And I think that's going to be a good natural end to today. So let's say that I went and pressed V and held it, and I was looking for some limestone. So I click and press to look for limestone. It tells me that there's some here, there's some over there, there's some over here. But if I press M, I can open up the map. Now if I zoom in, I can see by hovering over, this is purity normal. This one is impure, this one is impure, and the one that I've currently got is also impure. So I could come down to here to find a normal limestone, and that will be 60 per minute, which means if I set this up, I'm going to fix that initial problem that I've got with this not working properly. Remember the problem I had where this just isn't quite being efficient? Well, I could actually just pick this whole thing up, move it over there, and make this whole thing work better. So that's one thing that I can do. That will fix one of my inconsistencies as well. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to pick up this constructor. We're going to pick up the miner. We'll pick up the other miner as well. So in order to do that, we're just going to pick it up like so. We're going to pick up this. We're going to get rid of all of this that we've built. And we're going to go and move this over the other side. So what we need to do is pressing V. Make sure looking on the map we're going in the right direction. So where is it? There it is. We can add a map marker if we want. Just place it there over the top. Map marker is infinite view distance. All right, we'll make it large and we'll apply that. Now when we come out, we can see new marker is showing up on the map. We can head straight for this, minding out of that poison there. And all we're going to do right now is we're going to run down. Now making sure as well that we've got our tool, because you never know. Could be some bad guys here. And this is the area that we were looking for. And there's a couple of nodes here as well. So let's have a look at what we've got here with some copper ore. This is just a temporary node, so we'll take this. You might not have this here. There's also some catering ore. We'll take this. We'll deal with this later. Again, you might not get this.
Technologies can be developed based on this new superconductive gold-like element, primarily in power and electronics. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to have this conveyor belt. This conveyor belt is going to go into a constructor. So we'll just connect that up. Very nice and simple. Don't need to mess about. We'll put that into here. Perfect. We're going to put down a pole, which we're actually going to put down just about here. We'll connect that pole up to both this and also to this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run this pole back towards the base. We'll run it as far as we can until it stops. Once it stops, because we've run out of distance, we'll come back a little bit and drop it. We're then going to run back. And we're going to do exactly the same thing with a conveyor belt. So we'll put the conveyor belt on here. And we're going to just run it out. Straight down. As far as it will go. Once we get back, we'll stop. Place it. And we're just going to run this way. And what we're doing is heading towards those containers. Again, we're just trying to put this out at the moment. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of plates. We've got so many plates now, we don't mind too much. But we're just going to bring this straight down here like so. Doing the same thing with the power, as far as it will go. And the power only needs to go to there, and then I should be able to connect it up to this one. Now we have power. Because we have power, this is actually going to start producing for us. That will start coming down this conveyor belt, which is great. That's what we wanted. What we're going to do is bring this all the way down here, like so, and up to there, which is where we kind of wanted it, right? Now, you better off using a lift, but it works, and so that is now going to be creating 60 per minute. Now, the only reason that won't work, you might say, but Steve, you forgot, and I'm like, I know, I need to go back. I should have done this when I was there. I didn't select concrete in the constructor. So all of that ore at the moment is going to be going up to the constructor and then stopping. But for the exact same amount of power that we were using before, whereas before we were creating 30 per minute, we're now creating 60 per minute with the same amount of energy. So if we go into concrete, we have 60 per minute coming out of here now. And actually only 45 per minute going in, which means we're going to back up, but that's fine. And now it means we're going to be producing more here. Perfect. So we're going to be producing an extra 50%. May not be too much, but it helps. And so we've just created just this little addition here. Again, you can just zap this guy if he gets in your way. If you don't like him, he'll run away. All right. So now that we've done that, let's head back over here. We're just going to remove that. Okay. Now look at all of this wire that we're, this cable that we're creating, everything else that we've got. We're in a really, really strong position now. We'll start to be able to move on to the tier 2 items. Now we're not going to do that just yet. The reason for that is I want to show you, we've shown you the map. Now you can create these markers if you want to. I can actually delete this marker, I don't need it. So if you find a marker and you don't want it, you can just remove the marker. You can add lots of different markers, you can see lots of different things, and you can kind of create this map. If you want, there are websites where you can go and see the complete map where everything is, because all the resources, all the locations, except for the temporary resources, everything's the same. It's in the same place. So you can use that. And it will be shaken up a little bit for version 1, so we'll get a new map. But for now, that works. All right, we don't need the equipment workshop because we've used that. So now, the only other thing to show you under special is the MAM. And so in order to put the MAM down, I need some more reinforced iron plates. So we're going to go ahead and we can make 200 of these now, by the way. So we're going to go ahead and just make a few of these for now. Okay, and we're going to put down the MAM. All right, let's just place this building down. We'll put it down just here outside. And this is the MAM. The MAM is the Molecular Analysis Machine. This is R&D. It's how you open up your tech trees. So what we can now do with this is if we go to our container, do you remember we killed those aliens earlier? Well, let's go ahead and grab the alien remains from what we did. Come across to the MAM, click on alien organisms, and you can see now we can research this. So we need 1 hog remains. If we research this, we will be rewarded with alien protein. Let's go ahead and research this. It takes 3 seconds. There we go. The analysis of hog research is completed. Please choose the new node in a tree to begin a new analysis. And we've opened up now alien DNA capsule and biomass, which we can get. But for that, we need 5 of these protein packs. So if we go to the crafting bench now and scroll down, you're going to see alien remains. We've unlocked a new option to craft. Now, we don't have enough because we need more space. So bear with me a second while I do this. I'm just going to take a few things out of here, just temporarily for now. And I'll pick up the other stuff I need. So there we go. There's a few bits there that I can pick up. And there's a few bits there that I can drop off just temporarily. There we go. Okay, so now let's come across here. And the hog protein we're going to make. There we go. We just made some hog protein. So now if we come back to the alien organisms, we can also see we got this spitter. So we can research this. Now we have exactly the same thing. So if I come back, I have spitter protein. I can do the same thing. So again, I'm creating this protein. Now I could go and find some more bad guys and kill them. And then I can obviously keep doing that. There's also stinger research. These are spiders. And we've got hatcher research. We ain't going to find those for a little while. But we can use any of those now to craft our protein. And we need 5 protein to unlock the next level in the tech tree. And as you start going down, you start to see we've got structural analysis. We've got a protein inhaler. We've got a rebar gun. That allows you to fire from a distance. It's really good to have. We've got expanded tool belt. Inflated pocket dimensions. Hostile organism detection. Lots of good stuff here. All right, the next thing is the plants that we found. So if you remember, we found these beryl nuts. Okay, so we need 5 of those. We've got them. Let's start that research. All right. Now those beryl nuts are done. We can now do powberry. Do the same thing again. There we go. Now we've got powberry. So this is now a scannable object. All right, we've got mushrooms. We haven't found any mushrooms yet, so we can't unlock them. But what this means is if I was to unlock... let me just put down the equipment workshop. I need 6 iron plates to do this. So let me just grab 6 iron plates. Okay. And I'm just going to put down the equipment workshop. Put it down just here. Now I can come to the equipment workshop and I can make an object scanner. I need 2 more reinforced plates for that to work. So let me just go ahead and see. Do I have those? No, I need to make them. Okay, we're going to make 2 more reinforced plates. Okay, they're done. And now I can go ahead and make my object scanner. Now ignore the beacon, that is being removed. But I now have an object scanner. So I can add that to my hand instead of the chainsaw. And now if I press and hold left click, I can choose between berry or nut. And if I look at nut, if I move around, it's going to tell me in which direction I need to go to find nuts. So actually, it's saying there should be some nuts. There we go. There's actually some nuts under here. So they're actually buried underneath there. But there we go. We can actually see how this works, right? Let's just put that foundation back down. So we've actually put the foundation on top of it, but this shows you where the nuts are. I can do the same with berry. Look around. There's some berry over here. I'm just holding down left mouse button, choosing berry. I kind of know it's in this general direction. There we go. I can actually see it already. This is going to lead me towards it. There we go. So we've got that. So that just shows you how you can use these objects. Again, if I was to come across here and go to nuts, you can see already. I know it was there, but I'm just showing you more nuts. Okay. Really easy. There's something over here. There's obviously some more fruit over there. I've got some sulfur here. I'll grab that. So as you start to explore the world, you'll start to find lots of these things, and they're going to be really helpful for you to be able to just find things that you're going to need around the world. Whether it's going to be nutrients, or whether it's going to be some ore, whether it's going to be some blue power slugs. And so, just to end this episode, we're going to come around. If you notice where our base is, this is the 3 iron nodes that were along here. We're going to come across to here. So if you look on the map, this is exactly where we are, just here. There is a cave entrance. We're going to come into this cave, and this is where we're going to find those spiders. So if you're scared of spiders, look away now. But as we walk into here, these spiders are going to start to attack us. Now, careful how far you go in and how quick you're going, because they will start to attack you. There they are, over there. They'll just run up and hit you. They take 2 hits to kill. They will chase you. They will run up to you. This one's actually stuck, so I think he might be a bit easy to kill. 2 hits, and we take the stinger remains. So that's it. That's all you need to do. So just bearing in mind as we're running around looking for these. There will be some more in here. There you go. There's one right there. They're going to run towards us. You have to hit them. They'll hit you. Again, there's 2 of them here, and they'll run away. They'll hit you and they'll run away. So what you need to do is just hit them twice. And they're quite easy to kill. But just bear in mind, if you get overwhelmed by them, they can actually be a nightmare the way they run off, and you have to find them again. So just take your time, nice and slow, and you should be able to kill them quite easily. This is another work in progress. We're going to ignore this. This is no different to the thing that we saw before that told us to pick it up. We're going to ignore it simply for now.
Hello, this is Control Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
So again, that's going to be in 1.0. It's not live now, so we're going to ignore it. We're going to come out the top here. There'll be a hog that we can see here. So he's going to chase us down. Just there's actually 2 of them. We're going to just zap. Just keep zapping them. All right, that one's dead. This one should chase us. There we go. Nice and easy. We'll take the hog remains. Okay, some more of those beryl nuts. Right, some more iron over here. So we don't need this. This is impure. This one is also impure, so we don't really care about that. But if we come over the top here, you can see those little shards that are kind of popping down on top of this blue slug. So we're going to grab that blue slug. Perfect. So we've got that. And then we're going to just look over the edge. There's actually another blue slug there. So we can kind of mark that on the map because we know that there's a slug here. So we can just grab this slug and we can just put that there because we know there's a blue slug there. We can just kind of run around the edge here. Again, just kind of take a moment, have a look around, make sure that you're not missing anything. There's another one over there that we can see in the distance. We're going to run towards it. There's another hog in front of us. So we're just collecting all of these aliens. We're going to use this in the man. So he'll chase us. We'll just hit him twice. Then he'll hit us. And then we can kill him. Grab his remains. All you got to be careful of is that you're not standing close to the edge because you don't want him to headbutt you over the edge. That's the only problem. All right, and now we're standing at the top here so we can get a much, much better view. We're higher than this. And here we go. This is the world we live in right now. So we can see as we look around, there's a waterfall in the distance there. Some ridgeline over there. There's some water. There's a little lake there. We'll be using that later. Got this big open area here. There's the gas cloud that we know about. That's that middle section where we picked up all the stones from earlier. There's the arch that we know about. We can see here that's the copper that we were looking at earlier. Just looking around to see if there's anything else worth noting. Not really at the moment. And so we're almost ready to go back. All we're going to do right now is run down the bottom here. Try not to die. And again, you can jump and fall from quite a distance. We did get hurt, but we're not dead. We're not dead. So just bear in mind that you can take quite a lot of damage from a fall. We're going to go and pick up this blue slug here. There is going to be a hog protecting it, so we'll get that as well. And then we're going to head back. All right. Nicely done. There's also something down here. We'll go and grab this. Now, you're going to have a slightly different output to me. You might not have any sulfur. You might not have any quartz. You might have something different. That's okay. Just know that this is a process and it takes time and there's no rush on this. We're going to find everything we need eventually. Okay. Time to head back. We'll finish all of our research in the MAM. And then that will be the conclusion of this video. Completing all of Tier 1. And yeah, pretty much setting up an efficient starter spaghetti factory, which is what we've done. I think we're in a really strong place so far. And all this time we're walking around, we're looking around. This factory is still producing at close to 100%, which is amazing because now all of our container storages are filling up. And that means all we need to do is just come back, check out our box here, make sure this is working. Now we could also, if we want to be absolutely efficient, just one final thing that we can do here. This is not the best way to do this, but we can just chuck another box down here for now. And some people are going to hate seeing this, but this now is just going to finish that off so that this whole process, we're not having to change that every time it happens now. So we can just leave it and it will do its thing. All right, let's make sure that this has got enough biofuel in it, which it has. And for this one, again, enough biofuel in there. All right, let's jump up here. Go back to the MAM. Alien organisms. And now we can add the stinger research. So we can now complete this. Now that that is done, we can come back to the crafter and we have enough to make hog protein. We've got another 4 we can make. Stinger protein, another 2 we can make. And we now have enough to come back here and open up the next section. So we now got our protein to open up alien DNA capsule. We're going to go ahead and do that. All right. So now we can look at the next thing we need, which is 5 alien DNA capsules to unlock this and 100 rods. So can we make 5 alien DNA capsules? No, we can only make 3. So we need protein to make these. So we'll go ahead and make the 3 that we can. And we just need to look around for more guys that we can kill. And then that's going to allow us to do this. So we'll go ahead and make that solid biofuel. So look, we can take biomass for alien protein. I wouldn't recommend doing this. It's a waste. Although 1 does give you 100, but I wouldn't do it. I think you're much, much better off at the moment making the alien DNA capsules. That would be my recommendation. All right, so we've kind of done everything we can do there at that stage. So now we've got Caterham, which was another one that we found. So we can go ahead and research this. This means it's now a scannable resource for us, which means we can look for it. So that means if we hold down V, we now have Caterham ore. So we can scan for it. If we find it, press M on the map. There we go. There's some right there. And it's pure. There's also some over here. So what we can do is we can put a little map marker down here. We can select this. We can call it Caterium. We can select an icon. For this, we can give it a little stamp if we want. Maybe it's a rock, so it's a rock. Select that image. We can make it so it's infinite, or at least far. It shows you how... in fact, we can just do it medium, because medium's far enough for us to see. All right. And we can, if we wanted to, give it a different color, but that's fine. So we can apply that. And now, look, we can see it on our compass. It's in that direction. So we know where to go to get that. We're going to do that later. That's not today's problem, but it does show you how we can do that. So let's go to the MAM again. What we need to do now is we need to go and get a lot of the Caterium ore so that we can unlock ingots, and then we can craft ingots, and then we can make quick wire, and then so you can start to see how we can progress through this tech tree. So we need to head over there, grab that, come back to be able to do this. Nutrients. We've done what we can with nutrients so far. There's nothing else we can do at this stage. We're not ready for a nutritional processor. So power slugs is next. All right, power shard. Let's go ahead and start this research. We're going to use one of those blue slugs. And now we have 3 options. We can make this a scannable object. It's going to cost us quite a lot of... in terms of it's going to cost us rods, it's going to cost us wire, and it's going to cost us screws. We've got loads, so let's do that. Now we can scan for slugs to find them, which is great. This one is a power shard. But that's going to cost us, not only is it going to cost us rotors and cables, but also a yellow power slug. And we don't have one of those yet, so we can't do that. But what we really want is this, which is overclocking. So this is going to require some plates, it's going to require some wire, and it's going to require a power shard. All right, well, let's go back to the crafting, because now we can craft power shards using our blue slugs. We can turn our blue slugs into power shards. Perfect. Let's come back and use one of those power shards. And now we can create what is called overclocking. So let's start that research. And now that is complete. We can now overclock. So you might ask yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, let me show you just very quickly. You remember the problem we had here where we were creating too many of these screws? We can't push them all out because we can't put them on a conveyor belt. We can actually deal with that. We can actually bring this down to maybe 30 per minute instead. And we can change the output of what's happening as a result by underclocking, which uses less power, or overclocking. By adding a power shard, we can now overclock. It will use more power. We can actually generate more. So now we've got the ability on every machine to underclock and overclock to make sure they're completely efficient. And the way that I'm going to show you this right now is if we head over to the concrete. So if you remember, we had a problem initially where we were only making on the impure 30 concrete from the miner. We moved it down here so that we now create 60 concrete from the miner. However, we're only able to construct 45 per minute. So we have 60 coming out here, but only 45 coming in here. Well, if we add a power shard, we can now overclock this. And by overclocking this, we can bring this up. And in fact, if we put this to 20, output, it's going to make the input 60 per minute. Now, this has diminishing returns. So if you overclock twice, you're going to find it takes up a lot of power and you don't get as much back. But right now, what we've managed to do here is clean this up to make it perfect. So we have 60 coming out, 60 going in, and 20 coming out. So we're now creating a much more efficient loop here. And you'll see that it will make it a lot cleaner here. Now, our maximum is 109 out of 130. We still need to go and finish off the inconsistencies that we have with the problem on the conveyor belts. But that is also a problem that we can fix. And I appreciate we've run over slightly on this video. It was meant to be 90 minutes. This one's going to stretch towards 2 hours. I'm sorry, there was a lot to cover on the MAM. I could have pushed that into the next video, but I kind of wanted to give it all to you as you have that information now. So we're going to go to the hub terminal, We've already done obstacle clearing. We're also now going to do logistics Mark 2. Now, this is going to be very, very simple for us because we've already got a lot of the stuff that we need. So we're going to need to upgrade these pipes. We can do that. We've got enough of these. We need to do the plates. Again, we can do this. And if we need more, all we need to do is simply pop out, pick these up. And it's really simple for us to be able to do this. And now the only thing left is 50 of these reinforced plates, which I know is going to take a bit of time. But when we do that, it's going to give us the ability to have Mark II conveyor belts. The Mark II conveyor belt is going to allow us to push 120 items down one of our lines, specifically the screws, which is where we're being held up. And then we should have a 100% efficient factory that we know is running perfectly. And that is where we want to be before we start trying to rebuild this or move this or do anything else with this. We want to get this factory to this point. And I would say that that is probably the most important thing right now, because as you start to build out your factory and you start to organize things better, you need some resources to allow you to be able to do that. So we need a few more plates. We'll just grab those from here. Nice and easy. And we can go ahead, look at that, more reinforced plates. So it's so much easier. Now, we're not making reinforced plates at the moment, but we can. We can. We just need to get to that stage where we're able to get the assembler. And we're going to do that in a next video. But for this one, as you can see, very simple to be able to finish Logistics Mark II. We're just going to quickly send that off. That's now done. We'll send off those plates. We'll hit that big red button. And now we have unlocked in Logistics Conveyor Belt Mark II.
Conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
Fantastic. So that was all we needed to do. Now, in order to upgrade, we do need more reinforced plates. So I'm going to make just a few more of these. Just a few. Okay. Now, coming down to here, let's have a quick look at the power. We can see this. It's a little bit inconsistent. Not too bad. What we're going to do now is look at this. We have 40 coming out of here. 40 coming out of here. So this is fine. And this is fine. This is 80. We can press number 5 to open up our conveyor belt. Hold down the letter E. And we can move to Mark II. And then we just click, left click. And we will upgrade that. So this is now 120. This is 40. So this is fine. We can do the same here. And then finally we can do the same here. But to do this, we just need 5 more plates. Obviously, we've moved that box, which means because it's now going over the top, we need to just do a little bit more upgrading. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to... We'll just do that quickly. All right, so this one to Mark II as well. So this is now 120 coming down here. Now we've got the lift. We need to upgrade the lift. Again, we need 6 plates for this. So if the box was closer, it would be easier. But the fact that we're having to push this over the other side, we don't have to, we just chose to. There we go, there's the 6 for the lift. So now conveyor Mark II, left click. That's now upgraded to 120. And so now we've just got this final conveyor belt here, which needs 10 plates. And obviously we'll get all these back when we break it down. But that should now make us 100% efficient. We fixed the concrete. We've fixed everything that we had to fix on the cabling. And this is going to fix the last part of the problem that we had on the iron. All right, so that's the 10 that we needed here. That should now fix that. All right. And we should be done. We'll just give that a minute, and it's going to take a while. It's not going to be 100% straight away. It's going to take a little bit of time to catch up, but that is going to work. So let's just go ahead and chuck all the biofuel in here so that this is all running now at 200. All of these can now run at 200. And we can come down here. This one as well. And all of our biofuel, apart from this one, is running at 200 now. So that's done as well. I would say overall, that's most of the things that we needed to do. They're done. Alien organisms, we've done everything we can do. Caterham, we've done everything we can do. Caterium's done. We've done everything we can do here at the moment in nutrients. Power slugs, we've done everything we can do. We have a little bit of quartz, so let's just start that first level research. Okay, now we've got this next option, but we need quartz crystal for that. We don't have it. And for this one, we need silica. We don't have enough quartz for this. What we're aiming for with this one is if we can craft enough silica, all right, which means we need 20 raw quartz. If we've got 20 raw quartz, we can unlock silica. And then what we'll be able to do is unlock this, which is going to be, this is a really big one for us that we want. It's called blade runners. But this requires 50 silica and 10 assembly frames, which we can't do just yet. So blade runners is going to allow us to run and jump a lot faster and a lot higher. Sulfur, we can do this, just the first level. This is going to start to unlock explosives and things for us. But we need, for this, we're going to need coal, and we don't have that yet. So that's pretty much all we can do. This now is done. We've done everything we can do here. And so what we're going to do is just drop off all the things that we can't currently use. So we're going to drop off, we'll get rid of burn the things that don't matter. All of this stuff like the sulfur, the alien nutrients, the deuterium, all of that stuff. We're just going to get rid of it for now because we can't really do anything with it. We're going to leave it in here and we'll come back to that a bit later. All right, we'll get the wood. We'll just get rid of that. We don't need that for now. Get rid of that as well. There we go. So we've kind of cleaned up a bit of this space. To be honest, we don't actually need this, which is the limestone. We can kind of get rid of that now. That limestone is not really any use to us. And yeah, we've got the chainsaw if we need it. We've got a power shard if we need it. Everything else is kind of sitting there. We can sort it all out. There we go. So we've kind of finished today. I think we've achieved a lot. Hopefully you'll have found this useful. We're going to kind of just jump up here. What we're going to try to, as you can see, we're really struggling at the moment. This whole spaghetti junction, making it difficult for us. The pod is just about to return. And that means in the next video, we're going to be able to send that up, work on the next thing that we need to do to be able to progress, and that will be the assembler. And in the next video, we can actually now break all of this base down, this perfectly working, fully efficient spaghetti base that we built. And this, again, is where most of you are going to end up. Maybe not straight away, but we have at the moment a perfect concrete facility, perfect copper, and a perfect iron facility. All working really well. And if we just jump down here onto the power, we should see this. It's almost perfect. There's still just a few moments for it to and actually we're starting to see it level out a bit more now. It's going to take some time, but it's getting there. All right, so we're going to see that level out. Everything's going to work perfectly. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's this here right now. This is what's causing the challenge. So I can just take these screws out. If I take all of these screws out, this will now be running at 100% efficiency. Okay. Give that a few seconds and there we go. Perfect. So it was just those, it was the backlog of screws that was causing that to not be perfect. By taking them out manually, these won't back up anymore because we've fixed the challenge that we were having. So these will no longer back up. 40, 40, 120, 40, 120, all the way up and over. So now, as we can see, a nice flat line at 106 megawatts consistent. We have 130 capacity, so we're not near capacity. Our factory, whilst looking like a mess, is actually producing us an incredible amount of resources right now. So in the storage container, let's just move everything over. We have over 1,000, nearly 2,000 rods. We have all of these plates. over 1,000 plates. We have all of this wire, loads of wire. At the top here, we now have all of this concrete. Over here, we have all of the screws, thousands and thousands of screws. And this one at the moment is the cable, over 1,000 cable. So as you can see, lots and lots of stuff. The other bits that we don't actually need, I'm just going to get rid of these. So we're just going to burn that and burn that. We're going to keep the power shard. We're going to keep the chainsaw. And we're ready now to be able to build out our base. So we've got a decent foundation there to be able to start from. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 across. So 11 by 6. I think we can possibly make this just a little bit bigger. I think we're going to make it an 11 by 11. And so to do that, we're going to take out all of the plates. And actually, we're going to take out all of the concrete. We just come to the foundations at 2 meters. We'll come up the top here. And this is just a very easy way for us to be able to do this. Now, this has hit the 2-hour mark on today's video, which I'm absolutely fine with because I think we've added a lot. There's a lot we needed to cover, and I think that we've done that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 11. I think that's pretty good. We can just go out 2 more. We should have enough to do this. We're actually struggling on the end there, so we're going to head over here. And look, you can see already this is a huge floor print for our factory. We're going to be able to pick up all of the stuff that's on the floor that shouldn't be here. These rocks we'll get rid of later with dynamite. We don't have that right now. And what we're not going to do right now is we are not going to build any walls. And the reason for that is that with the new Lumen update and the global illuminations, we could end up making it very dark and struggling to see at the moment if we start locking ourselves in. We're going to talk all about base building tomorrow. We're going to talk about the different options and things you can do. And we're going to take everything here and we're going to move it over here. So we're going to clean up this entire process and just make it all much, much better for us. And then we'll get rid of all of this spaghetti. We'll remove all of this. We'll pick up the hub. We'll pick up everything else. And we'll put it all over here so it's all efficient, working well. And then that is our starter base at the moment complete. And then the next milestone that we're going to push towards is actually going to be coal, because we need a better power source so we're not constantly worried about the biomass running out and us needing more power. Once we have coal and coal is set up and running, we will never need to touch power again. That is going to be our starter base complete, and that's going to take a couple more videos. I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you soon.